Thank you for joining us for today's You Belong. I'm Jeremy Whiting. I'm the general manager at Impact 89 FM, and we're grateful to have you here today to learn more about Black History Month and why these types of recognitions and celebrations are important and beneficial to each of us. Joining us today are Dr. Janine Royale, the Interim Assistant Vice President for Student Life and Engagements, Department of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging. We also have Murray Edwards. He's the Assistant Director of the Office of Cultural and Academic Transitions, also known as OCAT. And finally, we have Dr. Alan Shaw, the Assistant Vice President for Student Life and Engagements, Department of Student Involvement and Leadership. And we'll be with you here for the next 30 minutes, and we hope you'll be able to stay with us. If you have questions, feel free to use the Q&A function in Zoom during our time together. And right now, I'm happy to turn things over to Dr. Royal.
Well, thank you, Jeremy. And thank you all for joining us today. As Jeremy said, my name is Dr. Janine Royal. It is always a great privilege to have the opportunity to engage with all of you, even in this virtual format. And so I'd like to just go ahead and jump into today's discussion. One, we really do hope that you find these sessions valuable and helpful. As we discuss a number of topics, in particular this month, our focus around diversity, equity, inclusion here at MSU, but also specific to this month, as Jeremy stated, looking at Black History Month and understanding what that means in its cultural context, but also what it means for those of us here at MSU. We believe that these You Belong sessions are important because they allow us to hear from you, our students, and to engage all of you in conversation. And so today, we'd like to talk about and recognize the celebration of all of our months, but in particular, again, this month being February and it being Black History Month. And so this will be a common practice for us. Again, there are a number of months that are designated for specific communities. And so this will be one of many conversations that we have, again, acknowledging the history and the cultural context that many of our racial and ethnic communities and other minoritized communities have contributed to the fabric of this country. And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and have some conversation with our colleagues. Again, we have Murray Edwards, who is a favorite colleague of mine. And I'll ask him to talk a little bit more about the work that is happening out of his respective area as it relates to this month and perhaps some others. So Murray.
Thank you, Dr. Roy, and good morning to everyone who are attending this session. Just talking a little bit about the Office of Culture and Academic Transition and its involvement with Black History Month activities. Primarily, our work focus on supporting student groups, number one, particularly Black Student Alliance, which is a student organization that we work with as advisors, and also we work with them to support them in the planning and implementation of their program. This month, that organization have had several outstanding events that students have participated in and have had great participation from students. They had a Black Empowerment Week that happened a couple weeks ago that students was involved with. They had their Chocolate Rose event, social event, which was a more social party event that they had for students. And then the final one that they had, I had to make sure I check my notes here, is that they had the Black, well, I said about the Black, they had a Black Love Week that they had also for this month. So those are some of the programs that Black Student Alliance have done this particular month. In the past, the office of OCAT office has been involved in doing summits such as the Black Male Empowerment Summit that we normally do in February. We didn't do it this year because we was remote for the first 3 weeks of the semester, and we was unsure if we were going to be back in person in February, so we did not plan to do an event for this particular month. But we normally do a Black Male Summit where we bring together young men that identify as black and male, and have them participate in this summit to empower them to share with them resource and support information so that they can continue to matriculate successfully through the institution. So those are just some of the things that we're doing as we celebrate this very important month. In the past, we've had events such as Malcolm X Week, where we have speakers that we brought to campus, focusing on the philosophy of Malcolm X and talking about not only about Black empowerment, but Black nationalism, also talking about Black culture, Black achievement. So those are some of the other events that we've done in the past that we plan to return to in 2023 as we move back into the in-person activities of campus.
So Murray, let me ask you a slightly different question. For those students and faculty and staff even who don't self-identify as Black or African-American, what ways would you suggest them recognizing or perhaps celebrating Black History Month if they don't self-identify with the community?
Well, one of the things about, thank you for that question, but one of the things that's important, it's important that this is a great opportunity to learn about the Black culture, about Black history, about Black achievement. Participating and attending in those events that are set up is very important. So we have events that, for instance, with Black Student Alliance, they have it's called Black Love, of course, and focusing on Black students. But it is a wonderful opportunity for any non-Black student to be able to really participate in it and see what Black love really means. What's a major point in the programming or the plan of programming that they have for this particular program. So being able to attend and participate in those events. Black Student Alliance has a website, BSA has a website that they can access to find out about events and activities that they're doing. OCAT has a calendar on its website that lists all of the events that goes on through the course of any given month. So it's a great opportunity to get that information and being able to participate in that particular event. And as always, all events are open to anyone that are interested in attending.
And I love your suggestion about, taking the time to learn about Black history, Black achievement, the ways that African Americans and those who self-identify as Black have existed in this country throughout time. And so that's something that folks can do on their own time, right? Even if they're not able to attend any of the events that BSA or OCAT are providing during the course of this month. So are there other suggestions for students who may want to get involved with OCAT or work with OCAT more directly, maybe with around Black History Month or some of the other programming that happens in your space?
Yeah, but again, one of the best ways is to go to ocat.msu.edu to look at our website. And again, we have an event calendar that lists all the events and upcoming events that OCAT will be either leading or supporting during the course of that particular month or during the course of this semester. So it's a great way to get that kind of information in terms of what kind of events are going on. We also have the MRU ICA program that has weekly roundtable discussions around various topics, and that happens on Mondays and Tuesdays, 8:00 p.m. in the various locations of East and South neighborhood and River Trail and Brody neighborhood. So an opportunity to participate in some of those roundtables as well.
Okay, and I think we also have in the chat that OCAT Fridays.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank whoever put that in there. Thank you for putting that in there. We have what we call OCAT Fun Friday, and it happens every Friday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. here in the office. And it's an opportunity for students to be able to come to OCAT, to be able to have a nice, relaxed atmosphere, We do different activities. We did some craft activities back earlier a couple weeks ago. We have sometimes have a speaker that comes in to do a little 5-10 minute presentation on a particular topic. We did one on financial 1.0, talking about financial empowerment. And we had representatives from the MSU Credit Union that participated in that, was in person as well as we did it on Zoom, so those students could participate in that, but get a hands-on presentation from MSU Federal Credit Union. We also have a representative from the Writing Center that's here during that particular time for students who may need some assistance and support in terms of writing papers or writing an essay and those kind of things. So we have someone here that can assist them as well. But it's also a great opportunity for students to interact and network, because we have a variety of diverse participation from students that participate at the OCAT Friday. It's a lively time for several hours in the afternoon here in the office.
So I have one other question, and then I'm going to ask Alan to jump in here. But in this space, Murray, you know, we talk a lot about intersectionality and we talk about solidarity. And so can you talk about CORES and COPS groups? What are those CORES and COPS groups, and how do they operate, or how do they connect, right? When we're talking about Black students and Black history, what are CORES and COPS groups, and where do they connect with what we're the subject of our discussion today?
Okay, thank you for that question. We'll start with the CORES group, which stands for Council of Racial Ethnic Students. That's four student groups that work with the community of Black, Latinx, Asian American, and Native Indigenous students. And their connection to the office is, and there's an advisor for each one of those groups, and primarily those advisors are from this office. And we work with those students in that standpoint. Also, those students are allocated funding for programs through the course of the year, each year, and those funds are managed by the office. And with that advisor, we help those students to program. We help those students to address the needs that they may have within that community, to be able to assist students in their particular community in terms of program connection, in terms of connecting with students from that particular cultural background. Secondly, with the COPS group, the Council of Progressive Students, is a wide array of student groups that's also include International Student Association, Jewish Student Association. It's about 8 or 9 student groups that are involved in that, and it spreads its wings a little bit wider in terms of working with other diverse students. And that same principle that we have with the with CORES, in terms of working with a particular population of students to provide programming and support for those students. 2 years ago, I think, a funding source was created for the COPS group to be able to do programming. So now they have some programming dollars that they can use to further their mission as an organization in working with their particular community that they're designated to work with. So, and OCAT has been part of that in terms of continuing to work with both of those student-based groups to support them. Matter of fact, we're in the process of planning a CORES and COPS retreat for April for the newly elected 2022-23 executive boards for the CORES and COPS group, so we can assist those students in first of all getting to know each other, interact with each other, and really building that coalition that we want to continue to work on building with those student organizations.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Murray.
Yes.
Alan, so you also have been really involved with all of the organizations and much of the work that is involved with the university as we look at celebrating different identities. What would you add to this conversation, in particular as it relates to Black History Month?
Well, Thank you for the question, and good morning to everybody. I think all the information is great that has been presented. And just as a reminder, the office is located 339 Student Services Building. So I know a lot of people know where Mary's office is, but for those who are new, it's located there. COPS offices are on the 4th floor of the Union, and CORE's offices are located in different residence halls. So please check in either with OCAT or their website to learn how to get involved. So for those of us who are on campus, I know everything is in hybrid fashion at this time. But I would also say, particularly appreciate February as being an educational month, but it should really be year round, and it should be all of us learning different cultures and ethnicities and genders and histories to where we're to how we are where we are today. So I would ask those of us who are allies, advocates, or have not been exposed to cultures different than themselves to step outside of their experiences and really come and learn through the different programming that is being offered. First step is coming just to learn what's going on, and then take further steps on how you can become involved, how you can become an ally, how you can become an advocate. And an ally and advocate are incredibly different. So they're different learnings that we all need to do. But hopefully, as a major land-grant university that is world focused, we can learn how to bring all of our similarities and differences together so that we can learn. And even though this is being recorded and shown later, but what's happening in Russia and the Ukraine, could that have been avoided for what the work that Murray and Janine and others and all of us have been doing? So these months, Black History Month, APITA History Month, Women's History Month, all coming up this semester, Dia de la Mujer, are all incredibly important so that we can learn from each other and be better individuals. I know I sound like I'm on a soapbox, but really, this is what coming to a major university is for, so that we can learn from each other. So let me stop there and turn it back to you.
I appreciate that, Alan, and thank you so much for your comments. And one of the things that, and just having a really transparent moment here, I grew up, right, with this idea of celebrating Black History Month. And then I had the opportunity to meet John Hope Franklin. And I met him in a really different way because I was working at another institution and we were planning our Black History Month events. And I was trying to get him to come to that institution to speak to our students. And he asked me directly, is this for your Black History programming? And I said, yes, sir, it is. And then he said, I will not come. He said he no longer, he said he does not believe in Black History Month, that the Black African-American experience is larger than a month. And so he no longer accepts any appointments or any engagements during that time because he really wanted to signal that message. And so from that conversation, I also became one of those folks who I do not celebrate Black History Month, right? I believe that it is, you know what I'm saying, we have to learn how to celebrate and understand and learn about diverse peoples 365 days a year. And so I appreciate your comment, but I also recognize that for some of us, we've got to start somewhere, right? And so if the month is the thing that's going to give us the opportunity to celebrate, acknowledge, and learn more about a particular race, ethnicity, or other identity, I think that that's, you know, an appropriate place to start. And then learning how to recognize the value in our diversity every day of the year, and where all of us have contributed in some ways becomes embedded in our daily lives. I think that would be the goal of all of the months that exist, right? And so I thank you for that comment. I wanted to allow the opportunity to see if we had any questions from any participants today. Okay, so the only question I see right now is where is the office located? And I think we did talk about that, but Murray, do you want to just respond to that one more time, letting everyone know where to find you and your team? Hey, who's in the background?
Yeah, again, we're located in Student Services Building 339 Student Services. For those who like to use Google Maps, it's 556 East Circle Drive, room 339.
All right. Well, thank you, Mary, and thank you, Alan, and the rest of you, Jeremy and Terry Hughes Lizelle, for all of the work on the backside, for all of this. I appreciate all of your work and your support in this You Belong series. And Spartans, thank you for taking time to join us here today. We hope that you enjoy this recording when you're able to engage with us, and you can always connect with us by coming to the office or contacting us via email, which should be accessible to all of you through the university's website. And again, if you have any questions, you can always email studentaffairs@msu.edu. And so we welcome you to invite you to celebrate Black History Month all year long, and also to celebrate the rich diversity that we have here on campus. And so as other months come up, we'll have those discussions as well around our identity communities. Alan identified several of them, and then we're also talking about the intersection of identities in some of these spaces as well, which is critically important that we acknowledge and recognize. But thank you again. Make sure that you continue to take care of yourself and take care of each other, and take the opportunity to learn more about yourself and others as well. Take care. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.